so you look famous and wealthy.
It's an LA thing.
Famous and wealthy. Yeah. Huh.
Do you own a leather jacket?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know where jackets are right now. From the move, they are in a box somewhere. So yeah, I have a really strong jacket game. It's unfortunate that it's really out of my living experience now.
So Tyreek Hill has an illness, we understand. What did he come down with, and will it affect him for either today's practice or even the game?
Well, all I know is illness is gone. Our team is pumped up. He'll be back out there today, and he's feeling great. So that was we were pumped that we were able to get through it as fast as possible, and he'll on game day we still expect him to be fast. Yeah, you're always careful to be too absolute in that scenario. I feel good about him being able to play, but we still have a day of practice to go through, and we need to make sure that there's no setbacks. But he's feeling good, and I know he wants to play, and we are hoping for the best as far as Sunday goes.
His activity today will be what?
It will be limited, and that will be a questionable scenario on game day. And you won't have an opportunity to ask me that question again. So I guess it'll be questionable.
Love that saving clip where the one where he goes, "I'm not getting answers. Stop asking me." Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, I model all my discourse after that. So this is my best attempt. I'm not sure if I'm hitting a home run with that or not, but no. So you talk about remarkable recovery that was strongly influenced by hard work and determination, dedication. Him and along with the training staff have done a great job, which actually gives that a possibility, which this would be way too soon. But we'll see how he feels today. There is that possibility, but I feel very good about him next week. We'll see for this week.
Mike, you talked a lot about how this week was going to be kind of like a field trip, guys getting to spend a lot of time together. Now that it's kind of winding down, what was your takeaway from just kind of the time away from the facility and seeing guys maybe connect?
The hope that your team likes each other. That question was answered because there's nowhere to hide on trips like this. All your time is really spent with each other or on the phone with somebody in your family. And it's been really cool to watch. You see guys maybe that aren't in traditional cliques, cross position, and just kind of different types of personalities spending time together. I think that's a real cool thing that only the right locker rooms totally take advantage of. But I know there's a lot of people on this team that had been on these experiences before that it really has meant something down the final stretch run of the season, and I think this is a good week for that, for guys to get closer, and there's a lot of shared experience, guys finding random things out maybe that they didn't even want to know, but that's all part of being a close unit.
Harry mentioned that you guys had a comedian here. I had some inquiries as to who it was.
Well, no, there was several comedians, and that's really not any major news. It was pretty resounding from the entire team that they thought that their head coach had better material than the comedians. They all said that. I promise. You don't have to ask them, though. Just take my word for it.
Are you leaning towards or against activating Fisher for this ball game?
I think I'm very comfortable doing that. This being, he had a good first day of full speed football activity. for the first time in a long time, and it went well. And so if it was just based on that, I think I'd be good. But kind of want to see today how his body responds. It's a big portion of football is building that callus as regard to your position-specific stuff and being able to perform. And so, that callus he really hadn't had any time to do. That's the first real time he's put himself through a full football practice. So we'll see how his body responds. It was a good indicator yesterday, but there's a little more detail to do today before we do that.
In terms of Tyreek, just as a leader, what have you noticed his response is in celebration of his teammates? When Sherfield scores, when Jalen scores, when Durham scores, what do you see from Tyreek?
I really like that question because it's something that I've always looked at is a great indicator. You always think you know where your team's at, but how do they celebrate together? And sometimes the most telling is when other people are scoring, and you'll see him fly over there, because he's faster than everyone. He'll fly over and be front and center of celebrations. I've also noticed, I think, two in particular stand out where he scores himself. And, just the football awareness of where you're at in the game. There's nothing worse than when, touchdowns are hard to come by. There's nothing worse when a guy on your team scores a touchdown in a frustrating game and starts, popping and locking when you're like, dude, have some awareness. I think the Baltimore game was one example. This past game against San Francisco was another where he had a long touchdown in a game where, the side of the ball was pretty frustrating, and his awareness to actually just run to the sideline because we have work to do is something that you don't know about a person until you're playing alongside him. So there's a lot to be told on how he behaves when we do score, whether he's getting the ball or not. And I think you can see by the reaction of everyone that he's not only a good teammate, but watch guys after he scores and does some crazy backhand spring or something. Guys are pretty lit, and they're probably in camera scope to be viewed their reactions to whatever he does as well.
It seems like that awareness to score and bounce. It seems like the polar opposite of what outside opinion might be. Since I think part of the reason why the league did the no fun, no celebration was the peace sign.
Yeah.
So I guess that's growth.
No, and I mean there's a lot of layers to that individual. I think the world's starting to see more and more. He's especially unique teammate, really, first and foremost. Great human being, a father and family man, but he also he's somebody that just really brings the ultimate team portion to his play, even though he's so gifted he probably could get away with not doing that.
Do you and the trainers feel that Teddy is ready to dress if needed? Is he available?
Well, we know he's this time has been great for him. We know that he's trending in that direction, but that you have to treat each particular individual, to their individual needs and desires, really. And Teddy knows his body better than anybody. He's also played the game and knows, with really as much experience as anybody on our team at football in general. He knows when it's go time for his body and how his body needs to respond. So we know we're getting close. We're not sure exactly when that is, but he's doing a good job and is in a good space.
River Craycraft popped up on the injury report with a calf injury. Is that injury sustained at practice?
Yeah, it's something that just popped up yesterday at practice, and expecting to, there's, especially with River, he's another guy that where there's a will, there's a way, but expecting to listen to him doubtful for the game as a result of that injury.
I saw Brandon here just doing laps around the field. I guess what have you noticed about his recovery and his
Well, you don't really know how someone's going to handle adversity. My expectation for him, just the way he had my experience with him as a player, is I'd expect it um, to be attacked in a way where he's trying to come out of it better than he went into it, and all he's done is proven that expectation correct because he is as diligent of a worker, attacking his injury, and enjoys being a part of the team as much as any player that I've been around. So it's been cool to watch, and I think it's inspiring to the players that are able to continue on during the season on just what it means to other guys to try to be a part of it. And I think that's helpful to see and love having him around.
How did Tua appear to you from a health perspective? Obviously, everybody's got a little something at this time of year, but how confident are you that the ankle or anything else should not inhibit his performance?
Yeah, I don't see that being any factor. He's such a tough-minded player in person that I don't think he's going to let any injury that's very common. It's really just it's no different than the common bumps and bruises of a season when you're in week whatever we're in. So I don't expect that to be a factor whatsoever.